The US-Mexico border is huge, and it's also a line on a map. It cuts through rivers, mountains, hotels, businesses, homes, private property. Do you think that any of the hotels or resorts that are on the US-Mexico border, or anybody who has their private homes on the US-Mexico border, do you think they want a giant fucking wall cutting through their property? I don't think they would, and they would fight it in court, and they would almost definitely win. Because in order to even do that, you'd have to make a claim for eminent domain, and you still wouldn't have, you wouldn't win that case. So you wouldn't be able to force these people to let you build a wall on their property. Furthermore, building a wall in that area would fuck up the natural habitat for many different species in the area. So, Donald Trump, do you not think you fucked up the environment enough? There are many legitimate logistical reasons as to why the wall can't be built. And then you could get into the whether you think it's a smart thing, whether you think it's racist or immoral or whatever. That's a whole nother discussion you could have. But logistically, it literally cannot be built. This isn't just my speculation or my opinion. There have been multiple in-depth articles written about this. Official government agencies had to do research to see if it was even possible to build a wall, because the president's talking about going around the whole country talking about we're going to build a wall. So they had to see, hey, can we even build a fucking wall? And their reports came to these conclusions that I'm giving you right now. So here's the thing that gets me, and I mentioned it earlier. I'm 100% sure that at some point between the time that Donald Trump was sworn into office on January 27th, 2017, to today, day 26 of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, someone or multiple people from these agencies, whether it's the Department of Defense, whether it's Customs and Border Protections, the Department of the Interior, the Department of Commerce, Homeland Security, at some point, representatives from these agencies or even the directors and secretaries of these agencies themselves have come to talk to the president and told him, hey, listen, man, for reasons X, Y, and Z that I've already listed and I went over before, we just literally cannot build a wall on the border. You think those briefings and reports didn't get to the White House? So I'm sure in some way he has access to this information. Yet what does he continue to do? Lies about it all the time. He does his rallies and goes and does interviews and goes on Twitter, and he'll say, oh, the Democrats, they don't want to give me the money for the wall. They don't want to fund the border wall. I guess they want dangerous illegal immigrants coming into the country. MS-13? I don't know. Maybe Nancy, and he's gone as far as literally saying this now. Maybe Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have a deal with MS-13 to let them into the country. So he's going around saying stupid shit like that. The most lazy, open attempt at race baiting and fear mongering I've ever seen. But the whole time he knows he's just logistically, it's literally impossible to build a wall. And so he's just a fucking liar. He's doing it at this point not because he actually believes in this policy and he thinks, oh, if I build this border, it will cut down illegal immigration and it would make the country better. He doesn't even believe that at this point, and I'm convinced of that. The only reason why he's doing this is because it knows it makes him look good. It makes him look strong to the authoritarian base of the Republican Party. He gets two things out of doing this. It makes him look like the outsider again. So, for those of you who might not remember, when Trump was running for president in 2015 and 2016, one of his biggest things was, oh, Washington is corrupt. I'm going to go and drain the swamp. Look at crooked Hillary taking all that Wall Street money and this money from these big donors, and she's doing them favors when she's in office. This whole shit is corrupt. Washington, D.C. is corrupt. And if you vote for me to be president, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to shake shit up and I'm going to get rid of the corruption in Washington. That was like one of his main campaign themes in 2015 and 2016. Now, nearly all of Trump's policy decisions have served the establishment. He gets to look like he's fighting the establishment to get the wall for his base, and they love that shit. And the second thing, whenever he feels like he's fucked up and is losing support from his base, he just mentions something about the wall, and boom, just like that, his base is back defending him. If he's getting a lot of bad coverage in the press, his supporters get tired of playing defense and clean up for Trump, because that shit is tiring. Or even when his base notices that he's shifting on policy and he's doing very establishment politics that any other Republican would do, and then they start to criticize him for it, that's when he'll bring up the magical 30-foot tall wall, and all his ignorant ass sycophantic base they all get wet in their pants and they come running back, rushing back to defend him, no matter what the charge is. So he's using that as a tool, as a trick to manipulate his base. This turned into a long-winded way of me saying that Trump is a fraud, a huckster, a scam artist, a fucking liar. Whatever you want to call it, he's full of shit.